So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the next installment of the Admiral Markets Trading Spotlight webinar series. Great to have you all here with me today, or whether you're watching this later on demand. I hope that you've had a good holiday period wherever you are in the world. I appreciate we have a wide range of people from a wide range of locations coming to join us. I hope that after what has been a rather tumultuous year, that we here at Admiral Markets, we hope you're all safe, we hope you're all well, and we really thank you for joining us for here as part of your trading journey. So today we're going to talk about how do we make 2021 our best trading year ever. Pretty poignant here. We're coming towards the end of, as I said, a very tumultuous year in 2020. And it's about, well, what can we do to make next year our best trading year ever? It's very often a case, and I can talk from my own personal experience there, is that the trading journey, it's about you getting better. Okay, every year, every quarter, every month, every week, every day. It's just that kind of constant sort of dedication to sort of improving yourself. And so this is a great little session for us to do, okay, today, just to sort of talk about and help you and maybe give you a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of guidance and insight on what you could do yourself. But equally, ladies and gentlemen, it would be great to hear from you joining us, okay? What have you learned and found out about 2020? What, if anything, you're already doing to make next year your best trading year ever? So by all means, please just pop that in the chat box if you've got any thoughts or any ideas. I always love to hear it. It's great to share. If you're watching this on demand on the YouTube channel, you've got questions, or you've got ideas, put them into the comments box there. Okay, we always make sure to sort of respond and to interact. We actually love the interaction. If you're finding this useful, if you find it help us, give us a like on YouTube. That always helps as well. So what are we going to talk about? Well, as I said, we're going to talk, what have you learned about trading in 2020? Okay. And boy, it's been quite a year, hasn't it, ladies and gentlemen? There's been some real, quite literally ups and downs in both life and the markets. And, it's important to actually sort of take a bit of a snapshot, to actually do a little bit of a debrief, to do a little bit of a review, to think about, what you've learned about trading in 2020. So that, how do we use that information to make next year even better? Okay, and that's what I genuinely want for you all. I want you to all to be better traders after every session. And we'll talk about can we create a simple plan to help us start 2021 the right way? Is there something we could be doing, a little exercise that maybe might help us just identify where we are, and then help us just kind of start to put in place a little bit of a plan to help us? And as I said, if you've already started doing that, you've already done some of that yourself, then by all means, please share it. If you've got any thoughts or ideas, it's great. There's there is no perfection in trading. Okay, everybody can have fantastic ideas, and it always helps to be able to sort of share them with other people. So yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, so for those who don't know me, my name's Paul. I've traded for many years. Okay, I've traded for funds. Okay, I've traded for clients, and primarily my own trading. Okay, I look to be trend trader for sort of longer term trades, and my kind of a mean reversion trader for my intraday trading. And here we are here at Admiral Markets, okay, a broker that provides a wide range of financial instruments. It's licensed and regulated in a wide range of environments across the world, providing competitive spreads on the most popular trading products and allowing you to engage with markets using MT4 and MT5. If you have any particular questions about Admiral Markets, get in touch with your account representative, and they'll be very happy to help you and guide you. But as I said, we're here to talk about how do we make 2021 our best trading year. And as the slide says, I think we can all agree that 2020 has been a wild year, both in life and the markets. We've all experienced a change to our way of living our lives, whether that might be permanent, whether that may be temporary. That will find out down the road, but invariably it has been literally a case, all our lives have changed in some way. Nevertheless, despite all of that, that change, okay, that uncertainty, there will be many traders who have made it to the end of 2020 with good profits. Others, not so much. All right. And I suppose there's a question for you. When it comes to your trading, have you had a good year or have you had a challenging year? All right. And it is a honest question, and please, you can be clearly, you can be honest here. Okay. There's no there's certainly no judgment in any way if you've had a bit of a challenging year. Part of it is being able to, if you interact, I can help you. Okay. In terms of, we can give you a little bit of insight, a little bit of a guidance in where you might have had a bit of a struggle, and what you could perhaps do to sort of overcome that. And as it says there, regardless of which, how are you going to use however year to help you next year? What have you decided to do to sort of build on what you're actually been looking for and where you're actually looking to go? So in this session, we'll look at some of the ways that we can learn from this year's trading experiences, and then channel that into making 2021 our best year ever. And that's what we want to do. We're here at Admiral Markets, especially on Trading Spotlight webinars. We're here to help you. We want to basically help guide you and help you improve in your own particular trading journeys. But it is that question: how have you got on this year, ladies and gentlemen? Have you had some good year? Have you had a good year? Have you had a challenging year? Have you had good in parts, and has it been downright troublesome in parts? Okay, we have had a good deal of volatility this year. Okay, from markets ramping up to new highs at the start of the year when we look at equity markets. Then we had, of course, the COVID crash from sort of February into March. Which was in itself an amazing sort of a piece of volatility in the way markets move, to then invariably turning, and then we're seeing absolute crazy moves in some particular shares and indices. Okay, as we've seen, those just basically just powering markets to new highs, and then invariably we also had last month, November, when we saw elements of the pandemic, the COVID vaccine, the release of that in itself gave markets another kind of like a rocket fueled blast, to take it to some highs. So it has been an astounding year, an astounding year. And, if you were to look back at, if we'd have done this exercise last year, all right, what we'd have learned from 2019, I don't think any of us would have thought 2020 has turned out the way it has, both in terms of our, just our everyday lives, but also, just also sort of markets and trading within markets. It has been a really kind of a, just a really unique experience. And so it's important for us to be able to start to take the kind of learning points to take on board what is actually happening, where we're actually going, and how do we use that, whether it has been good or bad, how do we use that and sort of take the positives out of it to move ourselves forward. So, I have, worked with traders for many years, about 10 years or so probably now. So I have seen lots of different traders, from complete beginners in the retail space to guys and girls working at like tier one banks. And there is there's very there's a lot of different challenges, but in many ways we're still humans, and we're still we're still all humans, whether you're trading a $2,000 account or a $200 million account. We're still humans, still have our own particular challenges. And very often what I find with, working with, let's say, retail traders, private traders, is in terms of, their kind of biggest challenge, it's very often that they can't see the wood for the trees. I appreciate that might be a rather sort of kind of English saying, but hopefully it translates. Hopefully you can understand that what I mean by that when I say that traders sometimes, their challenges, they can't see the wood for the trees. That's because invariably they get so focused on one particular little aspect of trading. Normally their setups. Normally trying to find a perfect setup, that invariably they fail to see all of the other wider elements that are going on, that you've heard me and my colleagues Marcus and Jens talk about, for the last year or so, in terms of all those kind of elements that that all kind of have a have an impact on the way we particularly trade. So a question for yourselves, those of you here listeners, what would you say has been your biggest challenge this year? What has been your biggest challenge? And as I said, there's no judgment from me. None of us are perfect. One of my biggest challenges was, I wasn't as aggressive in my trading as I would like to be. Even though I did well and had a good year, I could have been much more aggressive, in terms of actually sort of attacking the market. But that's the thing, it's always easy in hindsight. All right, it's always easy in hindsight. In hindsight, when those markets hit those lows in March, okay, it was clear that the market was going to turn and go to new highs. All right, it was clear to nobody. That's who it was clear to. Okay, it's very easy in hindsight to look at it and say, oh well, you could have done this bit, you could have done that. Okay, but part of it is understanding, what were the kind of biggest challenges, what were the elements that sort of took you took on board yourself, what were the things that that your biggest learning points. Okay, so if you've got that, stick it in the chat box there. Okay, as I said, I love to hear what traders are going through. Okay, and understanding what their challenges are and how they can actually how they can sort of interact and overcome those challenges, because as I said, everybody has them. All right, it doesn't matter how long you trade for, you will always have challenges. Okay, they might just be bigger, they might just be different, but it is just part of being a trader. There will always be challenges for you to work on in your trading business, and part of that is about being able to sort of share that and understand it, because sometimes you just find a different perspective might actually help you get a solution for that particular problem. Because as I said at the start of the slide here, is that very often we can't see the wood for the trees. Right, we can't do that, and this kind of plays into a bigger story as well about about traders communities. Okay, so I think it's really good for traders to know other traders, to be able to chat, to have ideas, to bounce ideas off. So we have Traders Yard here. Okay, so you're very welcome to join us on the Trading Spotlight community at Traders Yard. Come in, join us. Okay, where you'll find especially Marcus and Jens, they're excellent at being able to really help and provide a little bit of guidance, and we all try to do our best to help other traders and being able to be around other traders. Okay, and actually be able to interact and help them. That can be supremely helpful, supremely important. Okay, so Claudia says happy days for all. You're absolutely right. So Rachel said, what's your advice to getting very disciplined on your trading journey? Please share from your training experience. Okay, Rachel, yeah, I'm very happy to help with that. Now, trading discipline is trading discipline is I could talk for days just on trading discipline there itself. Okay, so part of it will actually be linked into what we're going to cover a bit later on. But when I think it comes to trading discipline, is part of that is what can help you is to have consistent routines. Okay. Very often, when I work with traders, they have an inconsistent approach, but they expect consistent returns, and that equation doesn't marry up. Okay, you have to have consistent input, and you'll get a consistent output. All right. So when it comes to trading in your own discipline, starting to correct the right habits, the right routines, the right behaviors, that can help you enormously. So as a very simple thing to take away is not only having a trading plan, which we're going to talk a little bit about later on, but even also having just a small checklist. Okay, a small checklist that you have to go through before you're allowed to take a trade, checklist before you even actually open up your computer, so that you're in the right mental space, having a little checklist for what you do after your trading day is finished. Okay, in order to make sure that you're debriefing your trade, you're learning, you're getting better from every single trade. You have the attitude that you either win or you learn. Okay, that's it. That's the way you come. But those things, having small little checklists, is what will start to help you. Okay, is what start to, because what you will find is, if you are still breaking that, you will start to notice where is it that you break your discipline. Okay, maybe you break your discipline because you're not managing risk correctly, or you are getting into a trade too quickly, or you're getting out of the trade too quickly. Okay, and you'll start to see these patterns repeating, and then you're able to sort of narrow it down and develop and help evolve tactics that will suit your own particular challenge there. So I hope that helps you, Rachel. I hope that gives you a little bit of insight into what you can do. Okay, but thanks for sharing that. As I said, I'm here to help, and I'm happy to help. And if there are challenges you've got, please pop them in, and I'll happily do what I can within the remit of the time and the session that we have today to try to give you just a little bit of help. You're welcome, Rachel. You're welcome. So, as I said, very often, the traders, they can't see the wood for the trees. Okay, they're just so very kind of focused on it. And very often, when a trader comes to me to help them, okay, Actually, what it is that they're looking for revolution in their trade, all right? And this is about evolution versus revolution, all right? And as I said, very often traders, they want to come in and they want to have a revolution, and here in the UK would have a saying that they're ready to to throw the baby out with the bathwater, okay? As in they just literally they want to clear the decks, they want to throw everything out. They're frustrated, okay? They're maybe a bit angry, or a bit grumpy, or a bit a bit disappointed, and they just want to effectively just throw everything away, start afresh, and just have a complete revolution, all right, in their trading styles. Whereas actually what I would say, ladies and gentlemen, and what I would sort of proffer in terms of guidance is actually I think it's more about evolution rather than revolution as a trader. Okay, it's about actually just sort of evolving as a trader, and it's about becoming just a little bit better than you were yesterday. The challenge with that is it doesn't sound sexy. All right, it doesn't sound sexy, it doesn't get people excited, doesn't get people inspired, okay? But it is it's the hard yards, all right, okay, of just progression in your trading journey. And so very often, even if let's say you've had a challenging year, let's say you've had a really challenging 2020, there will still be elements within how you've traded that you should review and debrief, because there will be things that you have done well, and we want to find them and understand them and identify them so we can build upon them. There are things that you shouldn't have done, all right? These things you shouldn't have done. And once again, we want to identify them, we want to find them, and so we can eradicate them going forward. And also, there will be areas that you recognize that actually you need to develop. Okay, maybe there's a part of the market you don't understand. Maybe there's a part of yourself that you don't really recognize or understand. Maybe there's a particular technical element that you particularly need to understand about markets. Okay, these areas for development, and that never changes. I've been trading for many years, but there's still stuff I need to learn. I need to get better at. Okay, it's all part of an evolution. You are always evolving to your next level as a trader, okay? And you do that at your own pace. Some people, it might take 2 weeks. Some people, it might take 2 years, okay? You go at your own pace. Ultimately, you're not in competition with the market. You're in competition with yourself, all right? It's about you trying to be a better trader than you were last year, all right? And that's it. And if every year you can get better, I assure you, okay, that you'll see progress. You will see the kind of achieving the goals and outcomes that you particularly want for yourself. So Alejandro says, I was having amazing returns when trading my own money for many months, so I offered to trade a friend's money for him, and now almost every trade goes south and hits stop loss. Is this just psychological? You're absolutely right, Alejandro. Okay, that's you are right. Okay, that's a bigger conversation outside of the remit of here, but generally, very quickly, okay. You're trading your own money as opposed to being a fund manager. In many ways, the separate skills, okay, they're slightly different skill sets, okay, because you have to look at it in a different way, because you have a fiduciary responsibility, because you're effectively trading other people's funds, okay. So you have to be psychologically ready for that, okay, and clearly you've learned the hard way that doesn't actually particularly work, okay. So you have gone for like revolution in your trading by being able to sort of try and trade other people's funds, when in fact actually it's more about evolution. It's more about starting to build the business, the processes underneath your trading that actually would allow you to build a trading business that in the future might be able to successfully sort of transition across to being fund management. But yeah, definitely a psychological element there. I hope that helps you. I hope that gives you a little bit of insight. So, as I said, many traders will have had a wonderful 2020, and if you have, I'm really pleased for you. Fantastic. I have no, as a trader, I have no envy about other people's success. I know how hard trading is. I've been doing it long enough. Trading is a challenge, okay? And so, I'm always pleased to see other people's success, okay? Because I know what it takes. I know exactly what it takes. And so if you've had a great year, I'd be the first to give you a pat on the back and tell you, well done. But increasingly, of course, also there'll be other people who have not had a great year, okay, for whatever reasons. As I said, put them in their chat box, and we'll try and help if we can as we go along. However the year has been, okay, what you'll find is great traders will take the time to review the trades of 2020. All right, this period here, this kind of like sort of no man's land here in UK, in the West and Europe, the kind of no man's land between kind of Christmas and New Year, whereas a few days you have a time to actually to step away from the market itself, but actually review your business, review the trades of 2020. Okay, what were the good trades? Okay, what were the things that you did time and time again on your good trades? Or the things you did time and time again on your bad trades. Now, let me also be very clear here. When I'm talking about a bad trade isn't necessarily because it actually it hit your stop loss, okay, or or it wasn't a profitable trade. All right, that is actually a bad trade is when you don't follow your trading discipline. You're like the gentleman earlier. You don't have the trading discipline. You're not finding it. Okay, you're not trading with with discipline in terms of the process. Okay, that is kind of bad trading. And it will happen to everybody, but it's about you being able to review those trades. And as I said right at the start, take out the good bits because they can help you. You want to keep them going forward. Find out the bits that were wrong and get rid of them. Okay. And then also work out, well, what are the areas for development for me? What could I in 2021 learn, okay, and get better as a trader? And so, as I said, great traders will take the time to review their trading, okay, for 2020. And actually that will become the power, the motivation, the inspiration to take them to greater heights in their trading in 2021. Okay. And that is, it's key. There was no shortcut to that, ladies and gentlemen. I know humans, we love it, but there isn't no shortcut. You have to put in the hard yards. You have to put the work. You have to delve in and actually look at, what actually has been going on in your trading and try and learn from that so you can be a better trader tomorrow, next week, next month, next quarter, next year. So let's have a little chat and a talk about, reviewing your year and being prepared for 2021. Okay. And as I said, I'd be interested to know if, is anybody actually doing this at the moment? Has anybody actually done that? Has anyone done a review of 2020 yet? Has anyone already started preparing for 2021? Okay. If you have, just stick it in the chat box. As I said, there's no judgment here. Okay. None of us are perfect. We're all working at our own pace, but it's good to know where you are. And, and hopefully if you haven't, well, maybe this will just give you the sort of the inspiration, the motivation to start it. Okay. Because the work you put in here might be what helps you down the line have a much better 2021. So the great quote there by Benjamin Franklin, it was effectively as you said, by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Very simple, absolutely spot on though. Okay, absolutely spot on. It's important to recognize and understand that and take this time, okay, to review so you can prepare yourself for next year. And if you don't want to listen to me, you could listen to a true market wizard. My own professional kind of hero isn't Paul Tudor Jones, and he says macro trading requires a high degree of skill, focus, and repetition. Life events such as birth, divorce, death of a loved one, and other emotional highs and lows are obstacles to success in this specific field of finance. And the reason I sort of talk about that is because it has been. He talks there about other emotional highs and lows. I have no doubt lots of people watching this have had, a wide range of emotional highs and lows this year because of the way the year has unfolded, and that might just be in your own personal life, let alone, your trading in your markets and stuff. And so, as it says, it requires a high degree of skill, focus, and repetition. Okay, and these events will have an impact on you. So it's important to basically to keep the data, to recognize it, and actually to work out and learn from what you actually have been doing, what you've actually been working on. Right, and that is invariably super important. So Alejandro has said, his review of 2020 was that he was long Bitcoin has been the easiest money I've ever made. Well, fair play to you. All right, fair play to you, Alejandro, and I'm pleased that you've had a good year in that sense. The question is, okay, how could you repeat that next year? All right, how could you repeat it? Was it just luck? Okay, and if it was, fair enough, you accept it. Or was there a specific process, okay, that you worked to, that you came to, that made you take that position to be long in Bitcoin, and at what particular time of day? What are the things that you could repeat? What are the elements you could take away from that would help you next year? Okay, those are the questions you have to think about. Okay, it's it's okay to be lucky. All right, it's okay to be lucky. And I admit it myself. I've been lucky in some of my trades over the years. But luck isn't a strategy. All right, it is not a strategy for long-term sustained success as a trader in markets. Okay, it's a case of recognizing it if it was, and then saying, well, what do I have to do to be able to sort of kind of repeat the opportunity like that next time and time again? Peter said, I spent last week and this week reviewing my strategies ready for next year, looking at the things I've done well and the mistakes I've made, trying to learn and improve all the time. At the moment, I'm in a learning mode rather than an earning mode. Well, Peter's just been excellent there. Okay, Peter's absolutely hit the nail on the head there. Okay, as he says, he spent last week and this week just reviewing his strategies ready for next year, looking at things I've done well and the mistakes he's made. That is absolutely fantastic, Peter. Okay, so you can give yourself a pat on the back there. Okay, and as he says, he recognizes I'm in a learning mode rather than an earning mode. Okay, and that is fantastic in terms of attitude. Okay, in terms of takes the pressure off your shoulders. Okay, to recognize you're in a learning mode rather than an earning mode. Okay, everybody has to go through. Everybody is constantly learning. As I said a few slides back, everybody's evolving to their best place as a trader, and it's all part of your particular journey. So here is a little task for you to take away, ladies and gentlemen. Here's a little bit of, as part of this, okay, this is what I call about, running a business inventory. Okay. So, I'm going to presume that a lot of the people here, you have day jobs, you work in businesses. Okay. And most of you will know that, all good businesses keep a close eye on managing their stock. Okay. Now, what you have to realize is that in your trading business, it is your knowledge, all right? It is your intellectual property. That is your stock, okay? That is your edge, or it's one of your edges. It's one of your edges. And like any good business, it's important to do a stock check every year. And this is something, as I said, you can do over the next few days as you get ready to prepare for the new year. So here's your task for this holiday period, ladies and gentlemen. All right. What I want you to do, take yourself out a piece of paper. And yes, I know some people would prefer to do it on a laptop. And I'm not saying, you can't. But what you actually do find is actually when you sit down and write it out, you have more of a kinesthetic connection, okay, to what you're actually bringing out. And this is important because I want you to write down everything you've learned this year about the 4 M's of trading, okay? Everything you've learned about markets, everything you learned about methods, everything you've learned about money management, and everything that you've learned about yourself, okay? The good, the bad, and the ugly, all right? We're only human. None of us are perfect, okay? But take it, sit down, get yourself a nice new journal, okay? Sheet of paper, nice pen, whatever it takes. Give yourself a couple of hours, sit down, and actually just write, everything you've learned this year, all right? Everything you've learned this year. And it could be, it could be the good and the bad of it, okay? It could be the good things you've learned, it could be the bad things you've learned, okay? There is no judgment. It's better to get it out because once we understand, we can see where we are. We're taking an inventory of our business. Write down all the trading ideas which have resonated with you, okay? So, if you've traded for a while, you would see there are thousands of different trading ideas, okay? Thousands of different trading styles, okay? You will find that some of them will resonate with you. Some of them you'll see, you'll understand, and you'll drift towards it. Okay. But equally, it's also important to write down all the trading ideas that you resist, okay, that you don't like. Okay. Maybe you don't, interested in understanding like the bond market. Okay. Maybe you don't want to trade bonds. Okay. Equally, you might not want to trade stocks. Okay. Or you might want to trade FX. Okay. Or, you might not particularly want to trade, let's say like moving average crossovers, or you just don't like the ideas about maybe trading breakouts. Okay. The reason we want to do that is because actually we want to sort of try and understand, is there a real, is there something real in that you're, resisting? Okay. Is that, is there something in that? Or is it a case of you're just being a bit lazy and don't want to do the hard work, ladies and gentlemen? All right. And that comes to all of us. Okay. Some people can look at it and think, oh, it just looks like a lot of hard work. I don't want to do that. Okay. And that in itself is giving you a good feedback loop. All right. You're getting a good feedback loop. Or maybe it is something that, a particular trading ideas, maybe, you've looked at, different types of trading styles, Heikinashi or something like that. And it just doesn't, it just confuses you. It doesn't actually help you in any way, shape, or form. That's okay. That's okay. It's still you getting a feedback loop. It's still you sort of being able to understand and make yourself, taking a snapshot picture of where you are. Okay, what your particular where you are at the moment. This is about identifying the wood with the trees. And write down what you still believe you have to learn about those 4 M's, okay? What do you think do you believe areas of weaknesses in terms of your knowledge and understanding of markets, methods, money, and myself? and put them down. Once again, it's absolutely fine. Okay, to understand that you have an area of weakness. This is you trying to run a good business. This is you trying to be the best trader you can be. So you're going to have to embrace, let's say, the kind of darker sides of your personality, in terms of there might be things that you just don't particularly want to do the work on. There might be bits that you just don't like because there's other elements that it triggers. Okay, you have to embrace it. Okay, you have to embrace it. All right, and recognize that. And there is to identify your areas of weakness is actually a strength in the long term, because once you identify area of weakness, well, you can start to basically do some work to build a plan to sort of either have tactics to mitigate your weaknesses, or even just an educational plan to do what needs to be done to basically learn about where you think there might be particular areas of weakness, maybe areas of weakness in terms of markets or methods, okay, or even on yourself. It's not that hard. There is fantastic resources out there, ladies and gentlemen, to help you with whatever particular weakness or challenge you have. You have a look at here the Trading Spotlight webinars, okay, that are in the archive section and on YouTube, etc. There is an absolute plethora, okay, of great resources that you can tap into. If you look at the Admiral Markets website, great stuff there that you can tap into that can help you. Okay, so there is help out there. Okay, there is education out there. Okay, it's around to be able to help you. Okay, and so there's no challenge that you can't overcome in that, certainly in terms of the education element. So this list of yours, which might be maybe 2 pages long, might be 20 pages long. Okay, it depends. You've got to start somewhere. Okay, by writing down what you provide perspective, and weirdly, you also provide confidence. Okay, confidence up because you're actually taking a snapshot. Okay, you're doing what needs to be done to be the better trader you can be next year. By writing down what resonates, you might have your next trading method idea. Very often I find for myself over the years is that, by actually writing down my trading methods, weirdly, that has kind of, I've evolved and led me to new ideas or to new thoughts, or maybe it's triggered something I've seen, something new that I have seen, and when I've been looking at charts, and that's good, because that's you evolving, that's you developing, that's you identifying new ideas, testing them, okay, seeing which ones fail, and lots of them will, but also elements that might actually help build your own trading method. You might strengthen it and make it more robust, which invariably gives you more confidence and gives you more self-belief. By writing down what you do not like or resist, you're giving yourself an opportunity for reflection on why. As I think I said on there yesterday, is it just a case of there might be areas you're resisting because you don't actually understand it, because you don't understand that part of trading, in which case, as I said, there's plenty of education out there, or are you resisting it for something, or for a behavioral thing that maybe you don't want to do the work, or maybe it just seems like too much like hard work. Okay, you have to learn from that. All right, you have to learn from that, and you have to sort of break that down, okay, and work out ways and tactics to be able to do that, because there is always a way to overcome. And by writing down what you need to learn, then you have the start of your 2021 goals, don't you? Okay, so just think about it. If you're thinking about it, even here, just in this moment, as traders, what kind of things do you think are your areas of weakness? What kind of points that as you're thinking about it here, as you're watching, do you start thinking, yeah, I could have done that better, or I could do this better next year, okay, or yeah, I need to understand that better, okay? It will come to you asking yourself good questions. It will come to you. It'll raise it, as I said. Take the time, write it down, okay? Start to build this, take this business inventory, okay, of your knowledge and IP about what you've learned. And the other interesting is that, when you do it and you write it down, what actually happens is also, it does give you confidence, in the sense, because you realize, actually, wow, I have actually learned a huge amount over this last year. I have actually come so far. When you're working at it day to day, sometimes you don't do it. You lose that, you don't see the wood for the trees. But it's actually when you take a bit of step back and you review, and it gives you a bit of perspective, then you learn, well, this is actually how far I've come. Okay, this is how I am a much better trader than I was 12 months ago. And I know by doing this, I'm going to be an even better trader 12 months from now. And that's it. That's just that kind of working at it and progressing to help make next year your best ever possible trader. So I think Claude there is saying that I want to be more self-control. Okay, Claudia says I want to be more self-controlled. Thank you for sharing that, Claudia. Okay, that's great. All right, well, a little bit like what I think it was Rachel earlier, in terms of self-control. One of the things that can do is as I said, having yourself a little checklist. Okay, that that you are not allowed to take a trade. Okay, until you've ticked off your checklist, and that checklist, it might be a small one, just something you have to do. Certain things have to happen before you allowed yourself to pull the trigger on a trade. Or maybe it's something that you have a little trade management checklist that you basically has to achieve X, Y, and Z before you're allowed to either take profits or exit the trade, so that you actually stay with your trade plan and stay with your trade idea. But having it just a little checklist, okay, and one that you can follow, okay, it doesn't have to be reams and reams and pages. It could just be very simple. You've got to start somewhere, okay, and just use that to effectively just help yourself sort of manage and give yourself a little bit of better self-control. So in conclusions, ladies and gentlemen, we all know that financial markets in 2020 have provided traders and investors with a bit of a wild ride. Okay, we could all agree on that. All right. For some traders, these markets will have provided a threat. For others, an opportunity. Okay, and you have to take a bit of time to sit and think, well, what was it for you? Was it an opportunity for you? Or has this been have these been threatening markets? Because very often, even just the way you're looking at it, the way you envision, the filters that you have, that can have an idea in terms of understanding how you view markets, whether you see them as a threat or an opportunity. With that in mind, okay, how do we make 2021 our best trading year ever? Well, as we said earlier, start by reviewing your performance of this year, okay, and that dig into that. All right, dig into that. That isn't just you looking at the P&L of your trading account. That is not reviewing your performance. Okay, it is about reviewing all of your trades, reviewing the processes, okay, that you've used, reviewing the checklists that you've used, reviewing how you've viewed markets, reviewing how you've engaged in money management, reviewing how you've done in trade management, managing your particular trades, reviewing how you've acted yourself. So with that in mind, you have to think, what have been your hardest lessons this year, ladies and gentlemen? What have really sort of given you challenges, and what have been your biggest mistakes? Everybody's made bigger mistakes, okay? Myself included. All right, I'm only human, okay? But by making sure I keep a record of them, it helps me get better. All right, by recognizing, if I start to see particular problems, all right, that I see in my own trading, well, then I'm very quick and clear to be able to sort of identify it and lock it down, or understand if it's part of something maybe a little bit bigger. Equally, what have been your greatest successes this year? Okay, so we had who was it before saying they'd had a great year because they basically just had been Alandra, so they'd just been basically long Bitcoin. Okay, fair play to you, well done to you, Alandra. All right, that's great, and I'm really chuffed for you. I'm really pleased for you. Okay, well done. But as I said at the time, okay, what do you have to do to make sure that was not just a one-off fluke? Okay, what can you take and learn from that so that you could repeat that next year and the year after and the year after that? Okay, because all builds towards you being the very, very best trader that you can be. Okay, now remember what I was saying. You're not really in competition with the market. Okay, you're not really in competition with other traders. Over the long run, you're actually in competition with yourself. All right, you're in competition with yourself to be the best trader that you can be. Okay, and better than you were yesterday, last week, last month, last quarter, last year. Okay, that is where you go. That is your journey as a trader, and that's what the Trading Spotlight webinars are all about actually helping you in that journey. Okay, and you'll find myself and my colleagues, Marcus and Jens, in the stuff that they teach and stuff. We're all here to help you, educate you, and help you make 2021 your best year. So with that in mind, start to build a little plan. All right, do the review, take the business inventory, do that holiday task. Okay, sit down, do it properly. Okay, enjoy it. Okay, because you've got lots to learn, and out of that, start to think, well, okay, here we can start to sort of build a plan. All right, to hit 2021, with a plum. Okay. So don't forget to join us next time, ladies and gentlemen, when you'll have my colleague Marcus, okay, on Wednesday. He's going to talk about understanding basic candlestick charts, including what makes up, candlestick components, what are the candlesticks versus bar charts, well, what's the bottom line of candlesticks, okay? That's on 2:00 London time on Wednesday, December 30th. Check your inbox for the webinar link or head over to the website to register for future live videos. As I said earlier, there's plenty of analysis and education and resources on the admiralmarkets.com website that you'll be able to pick up on. And if you want to contact us, if you've got questions from this, if you watch it, if it's raised thoughts and questions, well, then by all means, contact us, hello@admiralmarkets.com, or you can watch this and all the other sort of fantastic videos on youtube.com/Admiral Markets or facebook.com/Admiral Markets Global. Or as I said, you can join us on Traders Yard. You can get across there. There is the Admiral Markets. We have our own page there, and you'll find that, as I said, we're putting stuff out there. I'll be there for the rest of the day to answer questions, and it just gives you an opportunity to basically connect with other traders and help yourself. So I hope you found that useful. Okay, I hope you found that kind of it has given just a little bit of insight, okay, into what you need to do and what you can do, okay, at this particular time. And to be fair, I've put this down as a holiday task, but truthfully, you could do this at any time of the year, any time as part of your trading journey. If you've had hit a bit of a challenge, or if you had a bit of a bump, okay, then just do these exercises. Go and do a little bit of a business inventory, okay? Work out what you've learned, where you've come from, okay? Just start to help you review, and then out of that, you can start to make better decisions coming forward. So, there's a couple of questions here, which we can finish off with. I think we've just got a little bit of time there. Alandra says, would you recommend one of the trading account trackers such as my FX book? Yes, that's perfectly feasible, okay, if it'll help you track and help you keep on top of it. But I also still think that, it also, as a trader, you have to keep your own records of your trades as well, okay? They should basically back up and help each other, okay? But definitely anything that is tracks your trades, okay, it's data, okay, it's good data. And with that, you can start to work and identify, where there might be challenges, and also where there might be, areas for development, or where you've done things very well. Claudia says, thanks, Paul. Have a nice day and a good new year. Happy days for you. You're very welcome, Claudia. Thank you very much for joining us, okay? And Raysol and Yutha saying, thanks very much. James, Happy New Year, and Happy New Year to you. And, I wish you all, okay, wherever you are, okay, that you have a very happy and safe, okay, new year, and a profitable 2021 in trading financial markets. I'm looking forward to speaking to you all coming through the year. Hope you'll join us. Thanks, really, everyone who's joined me today. Okay, thanks very much for you're joining us over the year, and also for joining my colleague Marcus and Jens, their sessions as well. We really do enjoy doing them. We really enjoy being able to to help you. We enjoy basically the interaction. So as always, I wish you the very best of success in your own trading, ladies and gentlemen, for 2021 and beyond. And I look forward to seeing you next Monday. Take care and trade well. Cheers.